Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2020 Hillsboro High School Coronation. So excited to be able to bring this coverage to you for those of you unable to attend this afternoon. The homecoming week for Hillsboro Central Valley and high school coronation going on just about ready to get underway here for the Hillsboro High School. Our homecoming candidates for the boys is Jackson Anderson, Valdez, and Sam Preston. The queen candidates are Molly Porter, Sydney Owen, Zink. Crown Bears are Sterling Aventroth and Harper Olson. And we're glad that you could be able to tune in to yourliveevent.com for those of you unable to make it. The homecoming ceremony here on homecoming week for the boroughs. Plenty of sports events going on for Hillsboro Central Valley this week. On Tuesday and Thursday, volleyball games on the road. Tomorrow night they head to Wahala to play North Border. Thursday night, travel to Page to face Finley Sharon Hope Page. We'll have both those for you on yourliveevent.com. Then Friday and Saturday, a couple of home contests for the boroughs. As on Friday night it is the homecoming game in Central Valley taking on Beulah, rematch of the state championship game. And on Saturday afternoon at the Hillsboro Event Center, volleyball against Northern Cass. Again, that game not originally on the schedule, was added to it just about a week ago. So the Boroughs and the Jaguars on Saturday afternoon. C-Squad begins at 12 noon. So pregame coverage will start roughly around 2 o'clock if you cannot make it to the Hillsboro Event Center for homecoming volleyball game. Again, thank you so much for watching it. We will turn on the mic as we get just about ready to start the 2020 Hillsboro High School homecoming coronation.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Let's get this started. Live event, are we on? Good? Okay, here we go. Welcome. As with any event, trying to use as much out of the box can still offer a safe and yet meaningful experience for the students. So thank you for being patient. Thank you for coming outside to do this. It's a modified version, and the wind is super helpful right now. Losing all my notes. Okay. Before we begin the coronation, on behalf of all parties involved, we would like to say thank you to all the families, students, administrators, community, and staff that have all had a part in some way to help make this year's homecoming a successful venture. We're also extremely thankful to be able to work with your live event so that our coronation can be broadcast for everyone to view remotely. So thank you all very much. I'd be remiss if I didn't throw this in. I'd like to mention that about 40 minutes ago, a very observant young fourth grader named Easton Beach pointed out to me on my whiteboard. He said, "Mr. Longthorn, you know what? You can't spell the word coronation without corona." I was like, "I'm putting that in my speech, buddy, and you're getting credit." So Easton Beach, that's pretty clever. Well done. Do I have the best job ever or what? There we are, clapping for corona. Okay, now let's get on to the good stuff. Let's introduce your homecoming coronation kiddos. Please make your way out, and I will do a very respectful introduction of you all. Here they come. Our first couple, Miss Jensen Zink, along with Valdez. I took a little time to get to know these kids by sending them a survey. I asked them a few questions because I didn't want to just say their name and have them walk across the track and sit down. So I'll give you a few of the responses so you feel like you know them a little better as well today. When asked what animal Jensen would like to be, she said she'd like to be a cheetah so she could run fast again. Aw, you're fast. You know her as Swizzly, her common nickname. I actually know her as Running Buddy from kindergarten when she used to cry and run behind everybody and tell them to wait up. When asked what she would do if she won $2 million for being in the coronation, what she would do with that money right away, she purchased a new car that has heat. That's a good choice. And what she would like, who or whom she would like to thank as she leaves the Hillsboro K-12 life, and it's her mother for waking her up every day. So thanks, Mrs. Zink, for taking care of the little Zink. On to Adrian. So much to know about this young man. With only 3 questions I'm actually able to share that he answered. You might know him better as La Tortuga, or the turtle, or the tortoise. When asked what animal he could be, why, of course he answered, a longhorned bull. Not only because I'm Mexican, but because the longhorned bull is known for their strength and good looks. When asked what he would do with the $2 million if he got that for being in coronation, which, by the way, you don't, he said, I'd love to donate half of it to the HCV football team for a new turf field. But wait, it gets better. The other $1 million, I'd make sure to take care of my family first, and then I'd buy a jacked up lawnmower. My own house, a brand new 2021 F-350 Platinum with American Force wheels, and, of course, the rest of the money would go to my future 10 kids. And our next lovely couple, let me introduce to you Miss Molly Porter and Mr. Sam Preston. Convenient. Miss Molly, when asked who she would like to meet if she could go back in time, she said she'd go back to 2010 when the band One Direction was still together to just fully experience it. The first thing she would buy with her $2 million winnings, she'd say, I'd like to save or invest it, but I'd probably just spend it all. Very honest. Thanks, Molly. And who would Molly like to thank as she leaves the Hillsboro K-12 life? Molly stated that she would like to thank all of her fabulous classmates, staff, and family, especially the office ladies and Stella. When Sam responded to his questions, and as you know him, Sammy, his response to what animal he would be was an obvious answer for him. Sammy said he would be a Texas Longhorn, but way bigger than Adrian. If Sammy could go back in time, he'd like to see his grandpa because he never got to meet him. Aww, that's a good one, Sammy. And who would he like to thank as he leaves the Hillsboro K-12 life? He said, thank you to all my teachers, coaches, and friends for making high school an amazing experience. Beautiful. Our next couple, come on out. Miss Sydney Owens and Mr. Jackson Anderson. Sydney prefers to be called Siddo. And when asked what animal she'd like to be, clearly, a pufferfish. Because Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob was my biggest role model. When asked what words of advice she would like to leave behind for Hillsboro students, she clearly stated, kids, the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Touching. And the first thing that Sid would buy with her $2 million for being in the homecoming coronation would be Hubba Bubba watermelon gum. Jackson, or as you know him, Duke, when asked who he would like to meet if he could go back in time and why, he said Gordon Ramsay. I need to learn how to cook. If you don't know Gordon Ramsay, he's a cook. The first thing that Jackson would buy with his $2 million for being in the homecoming coronation, probably on most of your lists, a pirate ship. All right, well played. And who would Jackson thank as he leaves, as a senior, as he leaves the Hillsboro K-12 life? He would like to say thank you to his friends, his family, his teachers, and his coaches. So thank you from Jackson. And the biggest hit at the party is always the crown bearers. Today we have Mr. Sterling Abentroth, accompanied by the lovely Miss Harper Olson. Okay, let me give a quick homecoming speech for you. Ready? Then we'll get on to the good stuff. When it was decided that I would be the MC of the event this year, I was actually quite excited because, let's face it, I like to talk. But as I gathered my thoughts, it was apparent to me that this year, in these circumstances, a homecoming welcome speech would not come as easily or naturally as a typical year. So, what does any good speaker do? They Google other people's speeches. After glancing at a few ideas that just didn't really fit, I was a little bit motivated to go with an old story that I once heard that made a lot of sense to me. And in this situation, I thought it would apply. So I thought I'd keep it simple, revert to that story, and talk about seeds in a field. Ooh, sounds exciting, right? If you look across this football field, past the field, past the bus barn, you'll see some glorious fields, which I believe belong to Alex Cotton or his family, because I see him backing trucks into it quite often, not ever running into anything. That's a inside joke, right, Micah? Alex? Back to my point. My point is seeds. Yep, seeds. That's what I'm talking about right now. The life of a seed. There are two ways to look at the life through a seed's eyes. When a farmer buries a seed, does he or she also not plant a seed? See what I did there? It's all, whoop, the wind is not helping. Okay. It's all in the perception you choose to look at it. Let's be honest. It's easy right now to feel buried by our recent circumstances. But instead of feeling buried by our situation, we must realize that maybe, just maybe, the situation that has been piled upon us is not meant to bury, but to plant us in a way that will allow us to grow and prosper into what and who we are meant to be. Those lonely little seeds get buried in dirt, completely compacted into mud some years. Those seeds then have to make that decision to grow and turn into something new, useful, often beautiful. Or they can stay buried and wither away. Think of our current situation and understand that some days, I think it really does feel like we are the buried seeds with nothing but more dirt piled on us. Can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go there, we can't go see our friends, put your mask on. That's the dirt. But here's the best part. You can use the dirt like a seed. You aren't buried, you're planted. Think about that. Use that dirt to absorb what's going on around you and grow. That's right, grow. I mean, don't grow like me, like the 10 extra pounds I put on during quarantine. But I mean, grow mentally, spiritually, socially. Use this new experience to come out from under the dirt as a better, faster, stronger, kinder, more gentle human being. Choose to be planted, not buried. So, I leave you with this question as you stop and take in the circumstances around you. Will you choose to be buried, or will you choose to be a planted seed? Thank you. Now let's get on to the crowning. Okay. As with other things that we've done differently, we're going to do it differently today as well. We are going to first crown the queen, normal. Then we will crown the king, normal. But here's what we'd like to do. We would like you to do a drum roll on the ground or on the bleachers when I tell you. I didn't tell you. Okay? When we say drum roll, you give us a drum roll. When I get the cue from Miss Mathis, we will crown the queen and you will stop the drum roll. Are we ready? Drum roll, please. Stop. Miss Molly Porter. Congratulations, Molly. There's your crown and your sash. Those are my people. All right, let's crown our king. May I have a drum roll, please? And stop. This year's 2020 homecoming king, Adrian Valdez. La Tortuga, or as Sam calls him, the little bull. This rounds out your homecoming court. This is your 2020 homecoming queen and king. Congratulations. We'll have all the kids stay down here, the Coronation kids, for pictures and such. The rest of you are able to go back to your classes. Put your masks on. Thank you for coming. Big thank you to everyone that made it out here, to everyone on your live event, all the staff for being so patient. Yeah, it says,
Thank you once again for joining us for the 2020 Hillsboro High School Homecoming Coronation. Again, plenty of borough sports this homecoming week. Tomorrow night, volleyball is in Walhalla. We'll have that for you on yourliveevent.com, as will we on Thursday as they travel to Page, take on Findlay Sharon home Page. The homecoming football game is Friday night against Beulah in Central Valley, as well as Saturday afternoon volleyball in Hillsboro against Northern Cass. All 4 of those contests can be found on yourliveevent.com. Thank you for viewing and hope you have a great rest of your Monday.